Hi friends, in this video, we're going to focus in on the biggest block, the number one block that holds people back from attracting the things that they are asking for. I think so many of us, as we begin to have these awakenings in our lives, we begin to realize there's this larger non-physical part of who we really are. We begin to see this universe from a mathematical perspective going, wait a minute, I can do this plus X, Y, and Z, and that will equal me attracting, whether it's that dream romantic relationship, whether it's a new car, whatever it may be. It can be exciting when we become well aware of the manifestation world because we're like, wait a minute, I can attract the things that I've always dreamed of. But then as we begin to progress on our spiritual adventure, it can become a little bit disheartening because all of a sudden we're not attracting at the rate that we initially felt was possible, right? And all of a sudden, we're sort of holding on to this hope. We're like, wait a minute. No, it's possible. I get it. I see it. I understand the math of how this works. What's going on? And all of a sudden, it becomes a little bit more and more disheartening as we progress on the spiritual adventure, as we get to know ourselves on deeper and deeper levels, as we expand our own perspectives in our consciousness. It can leave us feeling a little bit more disappointed. You know, one of the things that I like to say as we progress on this spiritual adventure is that we begin to raw dog life. Ultimately, that's what this is. And what begins to happen is you begin to manifest some things and you have these incredible stories, but you begin oscillating between manifestation works and wait a minute, why isn't this working? And I want to help you identify the reason why you're not attracting what it is you desire, and it has everything to do with the sentence. One of the words in the sentences that I just said, I'll try to refer back to it because I don't want to reveal it this second because I want to give you guys some context first. So many of us, when we are, especially when we're kids, especially in my own life, right? And I'm sure you watching this, you've had this experience in your life where there's something that caused you to not feel special and unique, or you didn't feel like others saw you as special and unique. You didn't feel as valuable. Maybe it was the home you grew up in, and this was because of your parents, or maybe it was the school system. Whatever it may be, there was something that caused us to feel deficient in love. And I know in my own life, there was a time in my life where I began to feel like others don't see my value. Others don't see me for being special and unique. And it caused the limiting beliefs. It began to generate these limiting beliefs within my mind. And this is the biggest block that people have in regards to manifestation. There's an experience, there is a person, there's people that sort of caused us to feel not whole and complete. And because of this, we begin to attempt to manifest things that our true nature does not even desire. We attempt to go after things as a way to heal that unresolved emotional wound, right? Because we feel deficient in love. The ego, in an attempt to protect us, goes, you know what? Go attract financial abundance. Go get this new car, and then everyone's going to love you. Everyone's going to be your best friend. Go after these things, and everything will be great. And so you learn about manifestation. You learn about attracting your dreams and goals. And at first it's exciting, at first it's fun because you sort of activate more of who you really are, but then it becomes a little bit disappointing. Why? Let's put it simply. Because you're going after things that you think you want, not that you actually truly want on a heart level, not your core essence level. There is a true nature you. There is a whole and complete you, this highest expression of you that is intertwined with source energy, the all that is the highest expression of brilliance. And if we don't feel totally connected with that self, we're going to attempt to go after things that we think we want instead of identifying what we truly desire to attract. And this is a game changer for manifestation. Why does this negatively impact our manifestations? Well, because if we're going after something that we think we want because of an unresolved emotional wound, right? For me, in school, I wasn't paying attention. I remember I'd be like writing songs in school, socializing. I wasn't paying attention to the teacher. My interests were in other places. We all have what's known as an inherent high-level brilliance, inherent high-level genius. Yes, you watching this, believe it or not. For those that don't know me, I'm an intuitive. My name is Nikki. I'm an intuitive. I've spent over 8 years developing my intuition to where it's become a scientific instrument, where it's become I use it in my everyday life to communicate with the higher self. And with intuition, we can pull information from the past, the present, predict the future, pull information from the Akashic records, our chakras, so on and so forth. And so I actually don't know where I was going before I let you know that I was an intuitive. Isn't that great? That's so great. Everyone's like, well, Nick, you just intuitively identify what exactly you were talking about. Well, anyway, I think I was saying something along the lines, I can't remember what I was saying, but essentially what I know where I was getting at here was essentially when you're going after these things that you think you want based on unresolved emotional wounds, okay? And you never get to the core wound. We are all broadcasting what science would call an electromagnetic field, and what we in this community, we could call a creator field. It is responsible for shaping and dictating all the matter around us. It is responsible for our manifestations. So if you have in your psyche, in your subconscious mind, I'm not good enough, I'm not valuable, people don't see me for who I really am, and you're suppressing that emotion, you're suppressing that perspective that you ultimately feel about yourself, you're always going to attract more that reflects that. And so you're going to have this question mark like, I believe in manifestation and attraction. Why aren't I getting the things that I'm asking for? Because ultimately, the universe is a mirror. That's all it is. It is not necessarily cursing us or blessing us. Technically, it's blessing us because life is a blessing. But from like a mathematical perspective, it's not cursing us or blessing us. It's simply reflecting our energy. And if we have not purified our creator field, if we have not purified our relationship with, and here's where the video is going, with our why, you will always have this sort of messy creator field, meaning your unresolved emotional wounds are always going to be reflected back to you to teach you the lesson, to realize the perfection in everything, to find appreciation for everything. And so ultimately what I'm getting at here is that it is actually possible that, let's say your true nature has a desire to attract abundance because it's going to change a whole lot of lives, but your human self or your ego also wants money. They can actually want the same thing, but for different reasons. And so where I'm getting at with this video is that if you want to begin attracting more abundance in your life, you want to begin attracting more goodness in your life, it's going to require you to clean up your why. What a lot of people actually don't realize is that Source, the All That Is, prioritizes whys that are higher frequency, whys that are going to change the world. So instead of going, well, I want a lot of money. Why? Because I'll feel more valuable. Source is like, Source doesn't engage with our free will, but Source, the All That Is, set this system up so those sort of whys aren't going to be prioritized, right? The ones that are going to be prioritized is if you're helping a life outside of your own. If you prioritize that, that's going to unlock more freedom within yourself. It's going to unlock more of a connection with you. And all of a sudden, you're going to attract more abundance in your life. If you're looking to go after something like a nice car, the question is, how can you purify your why? Okay, why would having a nice car contribute to changing more lives outside of your own? Maybe if you're going after financial abundance, it's because it'll allow you to, engage with more like retreats and wellness and buy more health products, and that'll help other people and you can help other people make money, whatever it may be, right? But a lot of people don't get this. They're going, well, I'm trying to go after the things that I'm asking for. They're going after things they think they want. Now, again, I want to clarify. Let's say your higher self, your true nature, and what you think you want. Sometimes they can be the same thing, but their whys are different. So even if it is the same thing, it's still what you think you want because the reasons are different is ultimately what I'm getting at, okay? So here's what I want you guys to begin to take away from this video. I want you to identify something that you desire to attract. Now, ultimately, to identify what your true nature desires to attract is with your intuition. But without that right now, okay, I want you guys to begin to sort of rewrite your whys, why you're going after the things that you're going after, whether it be in career, whether it be within a romantic partnership, whether it be socially. Maybe you like to have more social abundance. If you can begin to change your why, you'll begin to clean up that creator field. You'll begin to heal. It doesn't heal everything, but that unresolved emotional wound that caused that human why in the first place. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to pause it here. We're going to be making more of these. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you feel pulled, you feel called, feel free to subscribe, like, comment. That helps us reach more lives. And I want to thank you for being here. We call this the Source Clarity Community. So thank you for being a part of the Source Clarity Community. Yeah. Alrighty, friends. Change your why. Change your why. Okay? Alrighty. Peace.